OpenAI is making two very different headlines today. It says a new in-house chip can beat Nvidia on inference efficiency, and it also paused a model release because the cyber risk looked too high. Welcome to the Automated Daily Tech News Edition. The podcast created by Generative AI. It's August 26th, 2026. I'm Trent Teller, and here are the stories worth your time today. This episode is brought to you by Consensus. Consensus uses AI to help you find and understand research papers, and you can get a free month. Find the link in the episode notes. Let's start with the AI hardware race. Apple has refreshed the Mac Mini and Mac Studio, but the bigger story is not just faster desktops. Apple is clearly positioning these machines as serious hardware for running advanced AI models locally, which is important for developers and companies that want more control over privacy, cost, and performance instead of sending everything to the cloud. At the same time, OpenAI has published its first public numbers for Jalapeño, an inference chip built with Broadcom, and it says the chip can outperform Nvidia's latest Blackwell hardware on efficiency for AI serving. Add in a new estimate that major tech and chip companies have now lined up more than $3 trillion in support for AI infrastructure, and the message is clear. The next phase of AI competition is as much about hardware ownership as model quality. That brings us to AI safety and control. OpenAI has delayed the public release of a new model after internal testing pushed it into critical cybersecurity risk territory. That's a meaningful decision because it suggests at least some labs are willing to slow down when a model looks too capable in areas that could be misused for hacking or manipulation. Anthropic, meanwhile, is taking a different route toward trust. The company says Claude will start embedding invisible cryptographic watermarks in generated text, and it has also expanded memory controls so users can see, edit, and delete what the assistant remembers. And outside the labs, Australia has officially barred AI-generated songs from its music charts. Different arenas, same direction, more pressure to make AI systems identifiable, governable, and easier for people to control. AI agents are also moving a little closer to real work. Cloudflare has introduced Kitesurf, a browser designed for autonomous agents rather than human users, giving those systems a more contained way to interact with websites. Meta is reportedly close to launching Hatch, a paid AI agent intended to handle tasks across outside services like shopping, planning, and tracking. And Amazon is said to be testing deeper automation in delivery stations, the last-mile facilities that prepare packages before they head out to customers. These stories all point to the same shift. Tech companies want AI to do more than answer questions. They want it to browse, act, sort, route, and complete jobs. The challenge, as always, is making that useful without creating a mess of accountability, permissions, and data sharing. On cybersecurity, U.S. authorities are investigating a breach at a Kansas company that makes technology used by water utilities. A hacking group has posted what it claims is a large cache of company files, and even though the case does not currently appear tied to other suspected attacks on water systems, it adds to concern around the smaller vendors that support critical infrastructure. In a separate case, researchers say a coordinated phishing campaign drained more than $100 million from users of the COLDCARD Bitcoin wallet. The lesson in both stories is that attackers often don't need to crack the core system if they can exploit the surrounding ecosystem. And one quick related note, security researcher Troy Hunt says a widely circulated Carhartt breach count was badly overstated because the data included synthetic test records, which is a useful reminder that not every headline-sized breach number survives close inspection. The web is also getting a little more closed and a little more commercial. Apple Maps is rolling out sponsored pins and banner ads across the US and Canada with no current opt-out for users. For Apple, that's another push to grow services revenue. For everyone else, it raises the question of whether basic navigation tools should start feeling more like ad inventory. Meanwhile, X has sent cease and desist letters to Knitter, the open source project that let people view X posts without logging in. Knitter is offline again while its creator seeks legal advice. Put those together and you get a familiar platform pattern, tighter control over access, less room for unofficial viewing, and more pressure to keep users inside the company's own monetized experience. And finally, in space, SpaceX says it wants to build a massive new Starship launch site in coastal Louisiana. If the project moves forward, it could become the company's largest launch facility and a major step towards supporting a much higher launch rate. That's significant because Starship is central not only to Elon Musk's long-term Mars ambitions, but also to future satellite deployment and the broader economics of heavy launch. The proposal is also likely to invite environmental scrutiny, especially given the sensitivity of the coastal location. Still, the scale of the plan tells you where SpaceX thinks this is going, from headline-making test flights to a far more industrial cadence. Thanks to our sponsor, Lindy. Lindy is your ultimate AI assistant that proactively manages your inbox, meetings, and calendar, so you can focus on what actually matters. Find the link in the episode notes. Those are the tech stories shaping August 26, 2026. From custom AI chips and safety guardrails to cyber risk, platform control, and SpaceX expansion, the pace is not slowing down. Thanks for listening to the Automated Daily Tech News Edition. I'm Trend Teller, and I'll be back tomorrow.